Hello and welcome back to my channel. Second video on my new go around with my YouTube channel. If you didn't see my last one, I am back to YouTube. It has been over 4 years, and I did say in my last video that I would be doing things more than just up close eye makeup looks like you guys used to see years and years ago. I did do one last. I still zoom in to show you the eye makeup looks, but we are doing a little bit more. We're doing a full face. So this is the look that we did today, and I'm going to zoom in, show you the eye makeup look, and then we will get started. And here is an up close of the eye makeup we're going to be doing today as well. I always start off with my eyes, so I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty eye primer, and I'm just going to blend that out with my finger. And now to conceal some discoloration on my lid, I always go in with the MAC Paint Pot in Laying Low. I'm just going to apply that all over. For the eyeshadows, I'm going in with my Natasha Denona bronze palette, so I'm taking the shade Beach right here. I'm just buffing that into the crease with a Sigma E35 brush. You guys just have to bear with me on this autofocusing. I don't fully know why it's going so slow. Either way, I'm just going to keep blending that, and I also kind of take it up here, just where I do extend my brows a little bit. I like to have a little bit of definition up there. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Ridge right here. With a MAC 217 brush, I'm going to put that on the outer corner and then start to take that into the crease. This is a lot more of a like mustard brown, so it's going to start to warm up the entire look. And I'm just going to keep packing that color on. I'm using the side of my brush to pack it on, and then I'm using the tip of the brush to blend it out. And then I'm flipping my brush sideways. I'm going to start diffusing that up once I don't have a lot of product on there. Next, I'm taking the shade Magma, which is a little bit darker and a little bit more red. With a Sigma E45 brush, I'm going to pat that on the outer corner to start adding some darkness and dimension to the look. So once I get it packed on there, I'm going to just kind of wiggle my brush back and forth to start to fade that inwards. And same thing with this one, I'm just going to keep building it up until I get it as dark as I would like. And then once all the product is off my brush, I'm just going to use the tip little point of this brush to start to fade it upwards. Now with my previous brush, as I always do, I'm just going to fade that out because we want to keep it super blended. I really wanted to go in with my MAC Coast to Reach liner, but I can't find it, so we're going to take MAC Teddy, and I'm just going to draw a thin line on the outer half of that lash line, and then we're going to smoke it out with a tiny little pencil brush, just to give a little bit more dimension at the outer corner. This little brush is by Zoeva. I don't know if they still make it, but the Sigma L06 is the exact same. But I'm just going to fade it towards the inner corner, so the bulk of the darkness is on the outer corner, and then it's like a nice little fade towards the inner corner. And now to make this a tiny bit darker, I'm going to take the shade Deep Dive right here, and with that same brush that I wiped off, I'm just going to pat on that very outer corner of that liner with that darker brown. I want to make sure to get all the way over on that outer corner, that way there's not a gap. And then again, take your previous brush, and I'm doing those patting motions again, and then I'm going to use the tip of that brush to fade out and blend that outer corner. And I feel like I kind of lost that Magma shade, so I'm going to pat some of that on top, just so we still see all of those colors. And now for the lid, I'm going to take the shade Silk. These do apply best with your finger, but I kind of want just like a wash of shimmer, so I'm going to apply it with a dry brush, just so it's not so intense. So you can see I'm just packing it, otherwise this would fall all over my face if I swipe it. So it's just like a little kiss of shimmer. Now I'm just going in with my Milk Kush mascara. I'm definitely going to do lashes, but that way you can see how it looks with just mascara. So other than the little bit that I smudged right there, you can see the look with just mascara. It's a really pretty one for mascara. That little bit of definition on that outer corner just really makes your lashes look a lot thicker than they actually are. But I'm going to pop on some lashes. I'm probably going to do my Ardell 858s, and then I'll come back and show you the eyes, and then we will zoom out and do the face. So my lashes are on, and as far as my face, I only have my skincare on, and I do have a little bit of foundation around my brows just because I can't really fill in my brows until I have my foundation on. So I'm going to go in with my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, and I'm just going to apply that all over as my primer. My skin has been extremely dry recently, so this is a must for me right now. And I'm definitely going to keep looking at the viewfinder just because I don't know if I am in focus or not. Next, I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty Bright Fix in the shade Melon to color correct. And then I'm just going to blend that in with a beauty blender. I definitely got way too much. So we're just going to blend and blend until that goes away. I'm actually going to use a clean spot of the sponge to soak some of that up. And I'm really going to make sure to get this on that inner corner where I have the most darkness. For foundation, I'm going to go in with my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I'm going to also apply that with the Beauty Blender. This does match my self tan. It's a little light for my face. It's not bad though. But I'm just going to pat that all over, and I'm just doing a thin layer of it because I don't want like a super full coverage foundation look with this eye look. You can see how much of the redness it removes without looking like a super full coverage foundation. This is one of my favorites. I just purchased it a couple months ago and I had never used it prior, so I definitely see why it was so popular back in the day. For my concealer, I'm going in with my Lancôme Teint Idole concealer in the shade 250W, and I'm just kind of dotting that around, and same thing, I'm going to blend that with my sponge. And typically I don't bring this down this far, but I'm just going to do this to conceal some of that redness. And same thing, just really get on that inner corner. Take a little bit more foundation right here. I can't really see it in person, but I feel like from what I see on the camera, my cheeks look super red right here. So I'm just going in with a little bit more of that, like a quarter of a pump. So now I want to do some spot concealing. I have a couple spots over here. I just go in with the MAC Studio Fix Concealer Palette. This is in the medium, so I'm going to take the shade NC30, which is this right here, and I'm just going to go in with a little concealer brush and conceal those spots. That way the overall face isn't super full coverage, but these little areas are. And I'm just pressing because I don't want to move that foundation around. So here's what the skin's looking like right now. I'm going to go in with some cream bronzer. So I'm going to be taking the Makeup by Mario, the Solfsculpy Transforming Skin Enhancer in the shade medium. And this brush is from BH Cosmetics. It came out years and years ago. I don't even know what it's called, but the whole collection was like this marble collection. But it is my favorite for cream bronzer. So I love me some cream bronzer. So I'm going to put that top of the cheeks, forehead, and that's really about it. This bronzer is one of my favorites when you aren't wearing a lot of foundation or a lot of coverage, just because it doesn't, a lot of cream bronzers are really full coverage. Like I love the Huda one, I love the Charlotte Tilbury one, but they're just so full coverage that you can tell that you have a bunch of bronzer on when your foundation's not super full coverage. So that's why I like to go in with this one. And I also like to take a little bit that's left over underneath my eyes because I don't like a super bright concealer look. Now for blush, I'm going to go in with the MAC Cosmetics Glow Play Blush in the shade So Natural. It's pretty light, so I like go in there with my brush. Like I get a lot of product on there, otherwise it's not going to really show up. But this is a like cream to powder blush, so it doesn't really look super glowy, but it's not dry like a powder. Sometimes I do this on its own. Sometimes at the very end I might top it with another blush. But I find that using this as a base really just makes my other blushes last, and it goes with pretty much every color. But it's really, really pretty. So what I do is I just do pressing motions for this because I don't want to swipe around and move on my foundation. Getting up into that temple. For highlighter, I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter in the shade 3 and put that on top of the cheekbones. I'm going to put a little bit right here on the bridge of my nose and also blend that out with my sponge. So the skin is very glowy, but not in a like greasy way. Like it sets down, like all these products do set down really well, but you keep that beautiful glow. So I'm going to go in with my Kosas Cloud Set Powder. This is in the shade Breezy. It's the only one that they had in stock when I went, so it's a little light, but it's fine. I'm going to just press that on the center of the face to kind of mattify that down. I do want to keep the glow, but not in like this area. Same thing with that. Always press, don't swipe. I'm going to get right here in between the brows to kind of dull that down a little bit. So that is pretty much the skin as is. Sometimes if I'm doing a more glam look, I'll go back in and do a powder bronzer, powder contour, powder blush, all of that, but I'm just going to leave it at the creams for today. So we're going to zoom in and finish off the eyes, and then we will decide on a lip and finish off this look. Okay, now that my lashes are fully dry, I'm going to show you one of my favorite little tricks. So you can see where my fake lashes just kind of start, and it just looks pretty unnatural. So I like to go in with a liquid liner. This one is the KVD one. And I just like to draw a little line. When you first start doing this, it tickles really bad, but you kind of get used to it. But now you can see there's no like just harsh start where my lashes start. Okay, lower lash line's pretty simple, so I'm going to go in with those brown shades that I use. This is that shade Beach, which was the first brown, and I'm just buffing that onto the lower lash line. I usually just look up and blend away. And then with the same brush, I'm just going to layer the shade Ridge on top. Same thing, just super messy, super smoky. And now with a pencil brush, I'm going to take the shade Magma, which was that darker brown, the one that was a little bit more red, and I'm going to use a smaller brush. That way it doesn't go down as low as those last two colors, but I'm still going to do this from outer corner to inner corner. Now I'm just going to apply that Teddy Eye Kohl from MAC that we used on the upper lash line into my waterline. And now with a Sigma E20 brush and that Deep Dive shade, which was that really dark brown that we used, I'm just going to pat that on the outer corner of the lower lash line, just like we did on the outer corner of the upper lash line, to add some smokiness. For my inner corner, I'm just going in with my typical face highlighter. I didn't use it today, but I pretty much use the same one every day. This is the really old, discontinued Resi one from Anastasia. So if I'm not doing a super glam look, I go in with a brown mascara on the bottom. This is the Benefit Their Real Tinted Primer, which it is a primer, but it's also just a really good lengthening brown mascara. And here is that eye look completed. So really pretty warm browns. I know, typical, basic, but it's pretty much what I do like every day if I'm not doing something exciting with my makeup. But yeah, so let's zoom back out and do the lips together. And I'm just gonna be doing my pretty much everyday lip combo. This is MAC Strip Down. So I line my lips completely and then I fill them in. I do overline them a little bit. And then I'm going to fill them in completely. So for lips, I'm going to take my MAC lipstick in the shade Yash and apply that just right on top. Okay, so that is that look completed. I'm just going to do something with my hair and then I will come back and show you the completed look. And this is also a close-up of the skin and how everything is looking, so you can still see like some discoloration, but for the most part the skin is pretty much covered but still natural, but still glowy, but still glam. It's like everything in one. Yeah, I love this foundation routine. And here is that entire look completed. I just threw a couple curls in my hair. It is wash day, so I didn't want to do anything too crazy. But this is everything. This is pretty much my like go-to simple but still glam sort of makeup look. You guys have probably seen it on TikTok a million times. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. I hope you like more of these full face type makeup things, because I know that's new to my channel now and in the past. So I will see you guys in my next video.